Life is way too short to focus on all that's wrong with the world. I'm Thomas Roberts.
We got good news. We got good news, yeah. Gay good news. You don't have to choose. Oh, good news, yeah. Good news, turn on. Good news, yeah.
This is Gay Good News. Give me 30 minutes and I'll give you a rainbow. Hey everybody, it is great to have you with me today. It is Thursday, July the 23rd, 2020, and welcome to GGN. Another great episode we have lined up for you today. I'm really excited about this. Billy Porter is going to be our main interview today, and we're going to get to that in just a few minutes. But I just wanted to take a breather because I've been running around trying to get ready for today's show, and it came up on me really fast. I was trying to tweet, Instagram, Facebook, make sure that I got the teases all out there for Billy because it's such a great conversation and I love this guy. So yeah, 5 o'clock snuck up on me pretty quickly. And it's been an interesting week. Just some things going on in life that have left me a little scattered, I'll say, and confused. But hopefully that's going to be resolved really soon. That's all I'll say. So keep your fingers crossed for me. But another story that we've been following here on GGN is the great story of the Sports Illustrated model, the first female transgender woman to be included in the swimsuit edition, Valentina Sampio. She's from Brazil. And right now, you can actually help her out. Now, not only by buying the magazine and showing support, but by voting, because they are having a contest for Rookie of the Year. There are several women that are included. Now, this is what Sports Illustrated has done to kind of add an enhancement to the magazine. They put up these little 1-minute clips of their models kind of lounging around on the beach, doing their thing for the shoot. But we also get to hear from Valentina. Now the link you have across the screen right there, that is the link to find out or where you go to vote for Rookie of the Year voting. I tried to make it a live link, but I don't know if I was able to do that just right. So I'll make sure to include it in the comments section of this episode so that you can click on it, or you could just Google Rookie of the Year for SI and you'll find her story there. And it's a brilliant story. And wouldn't it be great if we can make her the Rookie of the Year for the swimsuit edition? I think it would just be fantastic. She posted about this on her Instagram, and I said I would promote it on Gay Good News. I'm a man of my word. I'm also trying to get Valentina for us. So Valentina, if you see this, we love you, we support you, and we want you to be Rookie of the Year. Now, we're going to move on to the big get of the day. Billy Porter. So you probably became aware of Billy in Kinky Boots. He stormed Broadway in the role of Lola. And Kinky Boots was about this, British shoe factory, little small company, but it ran into hard times. And they made this partnership with Lola to make shoes for drag queens. And it was a huge smash hit on Broadway, and Billy Porter did a fantastic job playing Lola. That is one role where we came to know him, but it's probably through Pose that we've come to love and adore the actor and human being and activist that he is. Now, Pose is set in the 1980s. It's about the gender non-conforming ballroom culture that is really epic to watch. And he won an Emmy for his performance. But it's all about an Oscar dress for Billy, because wearing a ball gown to Hollywood's biggest night is what really changed his life. But what gets me, what really sticks out to me, is when he said that when he shifted his intention from ego to service, his life changed. I hope you enjoy this conversation as much as I did. We welcome to Gay Good News probably one of the biggest gets we've ever got. The get among gets among gets. He's an actor. He is a singer. He's a writer. He's a director. He is the one and only Billy Porter. Billy, it's so good to see you.
It's good to be here.
Was that a setup or what?
Thomas Robert, thank you so much. It's so great to see your face.
It's nice to see you.
I can't touch it.
And it looks like you're at some lovely spa.
Yeah, we are out on Long Island. My husband and I have been staying on Long Island since sheltering in place since March. And we decided to buy a house.
That's awesome.
So we're going to be moving into our own house, my first piece of property I've ever owned at 50.
Wow. How does that feel?
It feels really good. It feels really good. I'm trying to sort of find the space for joy, as well as all the other things that are happening inside of me right now. So that is a happy place for me. It's a very happy place.
But so isolation kind of gave you the itch for elbow room and a little bit of green space.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've had the itch for elbow room, and we've been trying to find a house for like 4 years. It's just a matter of like, when can you search for it?
Right. Yeah, it's a job.
When is the money really in place for it? You know, this is the first time that the actual money was actually in place where we could make it happen. And we wanted to make sure we didn't rush. This community out here where we are is very progressive, even though Long Island as a whole is not very progressive. This sort of hamlet of a community that we found really is. You know, it's secluded, it's out of the fray, which I think is what I really need. You know, the last couple of years for me has been really interesting because
yeah,
a working actor, it's intense.
Yeah, intense. You're nonstop.
Yeah, and I've been a working actor for 30 plus years. The last 2 years I've become a celebrity. That's different. You know, and sort of understanding that and understanding what that means.
What does that mean to you? Explain that divide.
Well, the fact that I had to put the right music on. I can't ride the subway anymore without constant uncovered acknowledgement. I don't want it to sound in any way negative. This is not a negative thing at all. A byproduct of being successful in this industry sometimes means that you lose your anonymity.
Right. Yeah,
so
you make some sacrifices.
Yeah. So the loss of anonymity is something that can't be ignored and must be dealt with in one's everyday, in one's day-to-day life. It's about the protection of oneself. It's about the protection and privacy of one's family as well. And you know, I just still feel like a gypsy.
Right.
You know, and I'm not.
From a professional perspective though, does it mean the jobs come in, the better jobs come in, better
work. I'm working. Yeah. I'm working through this whole quarantine. The jobs are different as a result of better, as a result of, you know, my recent successes. I actually tell a story about a TV show that I was offered last week, and, you know, it's a wonderful pitch, and, you know, it's about a blended family and, a LGBTQ marriage and blah, 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 blah. And I read the pitch and I read the characters and the outline for the season and all this stuff. And, I missed the part in the email where they told me what role that they wanted me to play. And so I called my agent and I said, well, what role are they interested in me for? And he said, Matt, and Matt is the lead. Matt is number one on the call sheet. It's interesting to me that I still, in this moment that I'm in, it never occurred to me that they were interested in me for Matt,
Yeah.
for the lead, for the leading man, because up until this moment, it's never been that.
Yeah.
You know, so my natural sort of response is, you want me to play some side character that's going to be funny and be somebody's best friend and be supportive of the lead. And that is shifting even inside of this new paradigm for me. So that part is great.
Yeah, because other people see that. You know, it's so interesting to think. You know, when we look at how we think about ourselves, how we view ourselves. You know, do you think it's going to take you a minute to view yourself that way? I mean, you got it. We know you've got it.
I am
coming out your ears. You've got it.
Yeah, I'm slowly. You know, the thing about it is this whole leading man thing, which I know you understand because, you know, you have leading man looks. You know, I am Black. I am gay. I am, you know, I was not considered masculine enough to be a leading man. So it's a new space to vibrate in for me.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to embrace it. I'm trying to lean into it. I'm trying to.
You better lean into it. You
I know, right?
your way every which way through it. And you know, for the Pride edition of the Hollywood Reporter, you were among the power brokers for that, and listed in there. So, is it also a good sign that you're getting scripts like this? That there are characters that are being created in content and stories that have representation where we've never seen representation before?
Yeah, I mean, that's the whole point. You know, 20 years ago or so, I was watching Oprah, as we were all wont to do at that time, the world's, you know, therapist.
A simpler time.
Yeah, and she had Maya Angelou on and Iyanla Vanzant. You know, my Black ladies were talking about service. They were talking about service, and they said, you know, when you shift your intention from ego to service, everything will work itself out. And I asked myself that question, that moment, you know, how can I be of service in a world, in an industry that's inherently narcissistic? And it hit me like a ton of bricks. You know, the very thing that everyone around you is telling you is your liability is your service. Your queerness is your service. Leaning into your Black sissy self will be your service.
Yep.
This was 20 years ago. This was over 20 years ago. There was no template for me. There was no representation for me to look at and dream the impossible. That was impossible. The idea of that was impossible, but I dreamed it anyway. You know, and even inside of dreaming the impossible, I still felt like, if I'm being totally honest with you, I got to a space where I was fine with it not happening. I had found other spaces to be creative. I had discovered that if I wanted my personal stories to be told, my Black queer stories to be told, I would have to be a leader in that. So I went to graduate school in the screenwriting program at UCLA. I started directing. I started creating in a different way. I stopped waiting for other people to give me permission and validate my queerness and validate my humanity. I just started to be it.
So what you mean, as a performer, you felt like maybe you were comfortable with hitting a glass ceiling of what you were being offered.
Yes.
But in getting out there and creating the work for yourself, or creating the work or creating the stories, you felt liberated.
Yeah, because of the glass ceiling, it forced me into a deeper reflection of my artistry that then led me to discovering stuff I never even knew I had. You know, I didn't know I was a writer. I didn't know I was a director until I hit that ceiling and the work dried up in the other area.
Yeah.
You know, so that I was able to enlarge my territory as a result.
Yeah. You're diversified. You're diversified. Yeah. And invested in yourself.
Yes.
And betting on yourself, which is the smartest bet, you know, you can make. And I love that about leaning in. And you know, welcome to Gay Good News. You
Yes.
know, I'm leaning in, baby.
Lean in.
Yeah, I'm leaning in. And
yeah.
I've never had more fun.
And it's beautiful to see. I have to say, it's beautiful to see.
Thanks. So with Pose, do you think that that is the role that put you on the map for most everybody? Now, meanwhile, you know, there's a lot of other people that have, you know, known your brilliant work for a long time. But do you think Pose did it?
Yeah, I think Pose is the growth of all the seeds that had been planted for all of these years.
What is the most extreme thing you've worn for fashion, or in your opinion, the most outlandish, craziest thing you've ever done?
There are so many of them at this point that I don't remember, but I think the most outlandish was the first, you know, because it was the thing that changed the conversation. It was the thing that changed my life. That first Oscar dress was the first. I didn't really realize it was the first,
mm-hmm.
you know, but it was the first. So it was the most outlandish because it was the thing that got everybody's attention.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite though that sticks out? You know,
that's my favorite.
That's your favorite?
That's my favorite. The Oscar dress is my favorite because A, it started everything. B, it was in my head. That was my image.
Mm-hmm.
That was my idea. That was my idea for years. Before it even happened, I was speaking that in jest with friends of mine
mm-hmm.
when we would watch the Oscars. You know, I spoke of it in jest about wearing a ball gown to the Oscars. It was a joke, you know, and then it wasn't.
Right. It's your reality.
It was the Oscar dress that changed the world.
But also I think you helped bring up or make easier conversations about gender expression.
Right.
And
that was the hope.
Yeah. I mean, I think it worked, don't you?
I do. And I'm really grateful for that. I'm really grateful for that. And now that I have your attention, this is what I'm going to talk about.
Right.
This is what we need to be talking about for real. You know, when you look at the engagement and stuff, you know, that was my thing. It's like, I look at the engagement and when I'm being silly and, you know, frivolous, it's like hundreds of thousands of people. But when I speak something real, the engagement is not the same. It's way, way less, like almost nothing. And that's not okay for me anymore. So that's where I'm expanding. I'm just trying to figure out what that means, how to do that, you know, all of the above.
To replicate that and to have that type of impact. For you though, gender expression means what in the way that you dress? I mean, it's basically part of an art form for you.
Yeah. What's interesting about it is that it's never. I've just liked fashion.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a fashion person, and for me, boy clothes ultimately end up being very boring, especially the ones that are supposed to be, you know, black tie or elevated in some way. It's like, there's one thing you can do.
Right.
You know, so
everybody looks the same.
Every man looks the same. You can change a color here or a pattern there, or, you know, but like, it's the same silhouette and it's the same penguin. Like, it just was like, I don't understand why it can't be something else. And I just did it. It wasn't, you know, like, I played Lola in kinky boots for 3 years and it never occurred to me to wear a dress in my real life. Because I had always associated wearing dresses with being a classic drag queen.
Mm-hmm.
And I never felt like a drag queen. And no shade, it's just, you know, I played a drag queen in a show on Broadway, and that was fabulous. But in my real life, I don't feel that energy. That's not who I am.
Right, that's not how you express yourself.
That's not how I express myself. But I would like to wear a dress sometimes. So why can't I wear a dress as a man? Like, what is that conversation? A cisgendered, Black, gay man who just wants to wear a dress because it's fierce.
Yeah, well.
Like, that's what it is. And I think literally the simplicity of that conversation has ignited change in a really interesting way. It's like, no, you know, we used to have a problem with women in pants, and then we didn't.
Right. Yeah.
I want the same to be for men.
Well, we need to get more Scottish men talking, you know? We need to get more Scottish men to talk about kilt wear, you know, and the ease of kilt wearing.
Well, and like I said on, I think it was one of them talk shows, I said, Jesus wore a dress.
That's true.
Don't like to call them robes because it makes everybody feel better, but it was a dress.
It's kind of like what you have on right now.
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to stand up and show us what you have. Yeah.
Caftan.
Yeah. Look at that comfort. Comfort, stylish. Yeah.
Yes.
That is a look you can take from day to night.
Day to night, honey.
Billy, this has been really fun. Thank you for making so much time for me. I really appreciate it. I just love you. And I
love you back.
For all that you're doing, because you're making a big difference, even in ways you don't even realize yet.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
All right, keep doing what you're doing.
You too. I'll talk to you soon.
All right, bye.
Okay, bye.
Isn't he great? I mean, his outlook and his perspective, what he's been through to reach this kind of pinnacle at the mountaintop of his career. And it was really that Oscar ball gown that put him on the map, celebrity-wise. Now the talent Billy has is incredible. You know, it's just oozing out of him, right? Charisma, charm, his kindness, his smarts, but, you know, great actor, great singer, great entertainer. But it really is amazing to think that leaning in, right? Talking about leaning in to his queerness or his Black sissy self, as he referred to it, is what gets him leading man roles. And he still, you know, struggles a bit with, oh, wow, that's for me. Because he was trained, you know, throughout the hard work of his career that those roles weren't designed for people like us or people like him or, you know, those of us within the LGBTQ community. But now those roles are coming his way. He's creating those roles, and he is breaking new ground in places where he never thought that he would. So follow him on Twitter too, and it's the Billy Porter. So it's THEE. If you want to find him, his tweets are great. So is his Instagram. So find him. He is marvelous. All right, now I want to tell you about our next week's episode because we're almost out of time today. This is a friend of mine, someone who I admire, someone who works in news. All right, so I was the first one to come out, right, in 2006 in a national role. And there were a lot of us, right, in these jobs. And no one else came out for a long time. Really long time. Like a really, really, really long time. But then they all started to come out, right? and it was fantastic. And they came out in ways that were creative. Like maybe you remember in the New York Times vows piece that was written about Patrick and myself and our marriage in 2012, Sam Champion came out just by saying he was there with his fiance, Ruben, right? And then you just put together the rest of it. Figure it out for yourself. All right, well, he leaps over having to say he's gay. He's just engaged to a man. Well, imagine being on the Today Show couch. Imagine being pregnant. And imagine telling everybody that you are a lesbian and you're also in a relationship and in love with one of your contemporaries, one of your colleagues. This girl, this woman, this human is fierce.
I'm flexing for you to show you. Yeah, the zoom is here. It's not there. Or is it there? No, it's not there.
All right, so that is the Jenna Wolf, right? The beach is this way. Jenna was a weekend Today Show anchor and worked at NBC News for nearly a decade. And we were there working side by side. A lot of us, like in the interview, you'll hear me say, we're all rooting each other on. But it was competitive. Like, we're competition inside 30 Rock. But she came out on the Today Show sofa, pregnant, and she's married to Today Show correspondent Stephanie Gosk. And in like a 1-2 punch, just put it out there. And you'll hear her reaction, her thought process to what that was like. She's now a mom of 2. Her and Steph have 2 beautiful daughters. Jenna is the host of First Things First on FS1, which is back to her sports broadcasting roots. So we talk about what's going on in the sports world and coronavirus, but it's a great interview next week. And we also talk about, some of our interesting times inside 30 Rock, like insider stuff, like stuff, you've never heard before. Yeah, so join us for that. Now, a lot of people have been asking me about masks, our Gay Good News masks. I wanted to pull up this picture because I reordered masks, and now the shipping date, let's get this to the camera, is for the 23rd to the 27th. So they might be on the doorstep right now, and that way I can get them out to you guys. But this is from Don Levitsky, and I think Don is here with us today. Hopefully I pronounced your last name correctly. And Don was kind enough to send me a message after he got his masks to show us how good it looks and also to tell us how comfortable it is. So Don, we love hearing from you. So thank you for sending in that picture. Thank you for ordering the mask. And to everybody out there, like my cousin Kim Crawford, who has ordered masks, and I haven't been able to get you your masks yet. I promised Kim they're coming, and everybody else they're coming. And the new batch is going to be in. So I'm going to go check the doorstep right now. And I just leave you with a friendly little reminder that just because it isn't happening to you doesn't mean that it isn't happening. I thank you for your time, and I hope I can catch you here next Thursday with me at 5 o'clock, okay? Be safe. Have a great week, everybody. Take care.